welcome to Chaotic Riffs Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and it's my honor to be speaking with my good friend Kurt Deimer once again. Kurt, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Jason? Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to you today because you got two singles that are out that you're promoting, and they're both very different songs. So first, I want to talk about the single for Hero. I was watching the video and prepping for this today, and man, I'm really impressed. I watched that, and it kind of seems like it's a great kind of way for you to honor and pay tribute to all the first responders. So you want to talk a little bit about the song and your decision to release the video?
Yeah, well, Jason, I wanted to write a song, obviously, because I'm a very big advocate of supporting, frontline workers, those people, during the pandemic that went to work every day so we can still live our lives normally. First responders who I think we take for granted as a human race as a whole, the EMTs, police that show up when a crime's been committed or someone's been hurt or an accident occurs, and those folks, they give up their lives to help us to have as safe a life as possible every day on Earth. It's a very chaotic atmosphere. And, of course, military and veterans all over the world for what they do for our freedom so that we can do what we do, or you and I can have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I can go rock out for our fans and share my message and my lyrics with the world. So it was very important to honor them. But then the other message in the song is for us to wake up every day and realize today might be a day we become a hero, because we can help a lady cross the street that might need help, or give a tip to a waitress who might have some things going on at home, who did a great job of going to work and serving us so we could have a nice meal. Or you see a car accident and you get out and you're the first one to get there before any of the first responders do and help save a life. So I just want everybody to have that mindset, and if we all did, what a difference it would make in the world. So that's the message I'm trying to convey.
Well, the message is coming through loud and clear, and I feel great that you felt I don't know if it's great that there's a need for it, but I felt it's great that you write a song like that to kind of show your feelings, because all too often, I tell you, first responders, especially like police, do not get, for mainstream media and mainstream public, they get trashed on a lot, and I think it's great when a guy like you takes the time to write a song like this. It's kind of common sense. I mean, we've all probably...
That's what it is, too. It's common sense. It's just common sense stuff that common sense seems to have left
a
lot of society.
I mean, I hate to see, I hate to get political, but, I hate all too often, these days are giving criminals more rights than the average Joe, you know what I mean? I mean, a couple of weeks back, two officers were killed here in LA because the new DA that they're trying to, recall, he let this other guy out of prison early and didn't charge him with certain things so they could let him out of prison early. If that guy would have been in prison like he should have been, those two cops would still be alive,
Correct. And I don't know. I don't really understand a lot of the thought that goes into some of the decisions being made around the world, because you could agree on certain things that maybe you could be more lenient on, but some things, it's just common sense.
Yeah. Common sense is
it's common sense, and even in our attorneys and our VAs and anybody, it's just common sense. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, common sense is missing from a modern world. I mean, I really hate to say that, but it is. I mean, something as simple as you got all these people you see on the news, writing because of a recent Supreme Court hearing over abortion. And my thing with this, you have a right to feel however you want, but there's never really, to me, a reason to get violent. I mean, you can feel how you want, you can protest, but I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And you see these people rioting and throwing stuff at the police. and they don't even get arrested because they're worried about the optics. They're worried about if they can get enough votes, come November. And again, I think we need to protect our police because they go to work every day, and there's a very good chance they might not see their family ever again.
No, and if you really want to see what society would be like, without our police, I mean, watch Mad Max.
Oh yeah. You know
what I mean?
That's what the world's coming to, and And so I got to ask you, we've all lived our lives and we've had ups and downs. So I was curious, was there ever a time in your life where a first responder made a difference in your life? Whether it's somebody giving you, I don't know, CPR, helping you out, when they see like you're in a car accident or something that really kind of...
Yeah, when I was 18 years old, me and a couple of my buddies from high school, we drove down to Arizona, on a little high school winter break trip in a car. For what reason, I don't know at this stage of my life. But sounded like a good time at the moment. Yeah. And I missed my flight to come home. It was the year the Van Halen 1984 album came out.
Wow.
And I was having too much fun back then, and I really didn't care to fly when I was that young, and so I missed my flight on purpose and rode home with my bros over on a non-stop drive home, and I fell asleep driving in Oklahoma and rolled a car 3 times, and we had T-tops on the Capri. It was my buddy's car, and we landed upside down, and we all lived, thank God. But we had hit a thing in the median, and it just shot us in the air, and we were rolling, man.
God was with you in a way,
People came to pull us out of the car before any police even showed up. Truckers were stopping. Those are heroes,
Yeah.
So what if the car was going to blow up? You never know. So
I never knew that about you. So I'm just hearing that story now. I could see why you write a song like that. Something like that's got to still, all these years later, affect you, thinking, wow, God was really with me, or especially those people. I mean, if I had been stuck in the car, a minute longer, maybe I would have been dead.
That's one vivid example, man. And one other vivid example that sticks with me is when I was 2 years old. I got back in the pool. Back in the day, we had the big styrofoam bubble you had to buckle on.
Yeah.
And I went into the house. My mom gave me some. I went back out, jumped in the pool without thinking.
Yeah.
And she saw me jump out the window and ran out in her dress and jumped in the pool and got me off the bottom of the pool. My mom was a hero that day. I wouldn't be here for those 2 days if heroes weren't there. So.
Yeah, and like we're talking right now because of your song, The Hero. I mean, there's all kinds of heroes, like you're saying. I mean, police, firemen are obvious ones, but like you said, your mom jumping in to save you, jumping in that pool. If she had not done that, if nobody had been home, you would be dead again. I mean, a hero could be somebody walking down the street. You just never know. Yeah.
Oh, and it doesn't even have to be. Here's another example. I just finished my tour with Yngwie Malmsteen.
Wow.
And we played the last show at the Parker Playhouse in Fort Lauderdale. I get on the bus. I'm coming home because we're coming back to Ohio on my bus, and we have our own bus. And the next morning I wake up, the phone's ringing and ringing, and I have an 18-year-old quarter horse named Gus. And all night he had gotten a lipoma around his small intestine that cut off all of his circulation and his being able to go to the bathroom and whatnot.
Poor Gus.
And he's been dying all night, dying on the ground, laying on the ground, trying to get up with all his might. He finally did get up. A vet showed up. She said he's 18, he's got a chance, but, his whole face was scarred up from suffering all night. And the lady who owns the stable, I'm not even here, puts him on the trailer after they gave him medication to numb the pain so he could stand. He got on the trailer. We saved his life. If she wouldn't have driven him down in that trailer, he would have just been euthanized like any other horse.
Yeah.
She was a hero. She woke up that day and became a hero.
Wow, yeah, and I got to tell you, that kind of breaks my heart, but it has a happy ending at least because, I'm a real animal lover, and I can't tell you how many, especially a dog lover. I mean, dogs, animals in general, they're probably more loyal creatures than human beings, I dare say. And animals will oftentimes you see that they'll just be suffering through pain, but they won't cry. They'll just kind of tough it out and take it. And I've heard stories about dogs, even saving their owners' lives. Nobody's at home, and they just wait by their side till somebody gets there.
They're those. I love it. The just saved her, and she's raised like a dog. And every day they're a hero. They have your back, unconditional love.
Wow. So I didn't.
It's a wonderful thing. So in fact, you see my goat in the My Dad video.
Yeah. I didn't know. You had those kind of animals. So you live like on a ranch or a farm or something?
Well, our camp. I have a 12-acre compound in Cincinnati. That's my hometown.
Okay.
And that's where I came back to, and I've got my studio here in a separate building, and then I've got my house, and we keep our tour bus trailer, everything here. We rehearse here before tours, so it enables me to have to help save other animals, which I'm going to do more campaigns with my fans and stuff. And
that's a real cool thing,
encouraging that kind of stuff. So
I would love to see that, because it's great when you could use your music or whatever, something like that to kind of help out the animals.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, and it only felt more than apropos to
do
I know we're going to talk about Dad, but when we my dad, the other single, but when you can put two animals that mean so much to you and create an atmosphere just walking through the woods, and while you're trying to struggle with what the message in that song's all about, I thought it was more than apropos.
And I think both the videos, they're very obviously they're very personal. They're things that mean a lot to you. Now the other thing I want to ask is in regards to the Hero video, how have people been responding? I mean, it looks like pretty positively.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of negative, mostly all positive stuff. You're always going to get a little negativity. That's the way the internet is. That's the way the world is. But, I take it as a positive, even if it's a negative comment, because, they looked at my work, they looked at my art, and I appreciate it. And, there's a lot of stuff I don't like in the world. You and I, Jason, we probably don't like the same topping on our pizza, but you know what? I still like you. You're still my brother. You're still my friend.
I feel the same way,
That's the mindset we all need to start having.
Yeah, especially, talking about music and what you do. I mean, I could talk to you probably, or anybody really, for hours about, music I love and music you love and music you create. But, what I really love about releasing the songs at the same time, each of the songs are really personal, as I said. You can tell they mean a lot to you, and yet they are totally different types of songs. I mean, Heroes maybe a little more of a kind of the song itself I'm talking is a little more of a heavier tune. My Dad, a great video. We're going to start talking about that. I mean, really personal, talking about your dad, obviously, and your memories you have of him, but it's kind of a softer side of Kurt, and I think it's great to release these tracks around the same time, because it shows you're more of a one-trick pony. You got two different sides, like a lot of us, and I love it. And wait
to hear the new album coming out, or go listen to Work Hard, Rock Hard from November. I mean, that's all different too. We're rock and roll, and it's no different than when Van Halen came out, like I mentioned earlier, 1984, and all of a sudden you're keyboards now, a different vibe, a little different than Running with the Devil. When you're a rock band, you can rock in many different ways, and that's what Phil X and I are trying to show. Along with the band, that we've got versatility and we're different and unique.
I'll tell you a funny story about that, since you brought up Van Halen in 1984. I'm going to be posting it next week, but just the other day I was interviewing, I'm sure you've heard the name, keyboardist Derek Sherinian. And and he's a great keyboard player, played with Whitesnake and Kiss and Alice Cooper and a lot of other bands. He's put out these great keyboard-oriented solo albums, and he was telling me that, even though I'm a keyboard guy, he goes, I got to tell you, I was a huge Van Halen fan. And this is Derek telling me, and he says, when that 1984 album came out, I first heard that, I was like, what the hell is this? And this is coming from a keyboard guy, but I'm like, wow, so a lot of people had that kind of feeling at the time, but all these years later, I don't know about you, but I hear Jump, I don't even think about it. It's just a great pop tune,
Oh, yeah. And you either like it, you like it or you don't. I'm sure back in the day, a lot of people were like, oh, I don't like Van Halen anymore. Now they're playing keyboards, Okay, well, then don't listen to it. Move on to the next thing.
So I really want to talk about your video from My Dad. I mean, it was released just in time for Father's Day, so this isn't off of the current album. Is this going to appear on the next album that you're talking about, that you're currently working on?
Yeah, both singles off of our album. We're actually going to put an album out.
Yeah.
And it'll be Kurt Deimer Volume 1. And we've got a backlog. In fact, I was just with Chris Lord-Alge out in LA the last few days going through our catalog. We have Volume 1 mapped out. We have Volume 2 already mapped out.
Wow.
Almost done. And we also have a covers EP, or a covers album.
Oh, that's going to be...
So we got a lot we got to get organized and released, and Bill and I are writing music as we speak. So,
and so you're going to release these like separately, but like there's going to be a release around the same time.
Yeah, we're pretty much covered on music, and we continue to write. Probably, I know for a fact Phil X is working on 3 that I sent lyrics on already, and there's way more that he hasn't even gotten to. So we're trying to stay ahead of the game a year or two. We want to constantly release new music as long as it feels like it's better than the last one we did. Because there's many we don't end up doing. That way we can be on the road, or if I got to shoot a movie, I can shoot a movie. And that's what we do. We create. I don't want to be the guy who just writes that song and then I just sit on that. That's my song, and that's all to play for you. It's not fair to the fans. I want you to hear our journey. And our journey can change. And like you said on My Dad is totally different, but I thought My Dad is my hero, a releasing hero. It's getting pushed. It's to radio now. But My Dad won't distract from that because My Dad is my hero. It's
funny you say that, because Kurt, when I got the press release about the 2 singles from your publicist, and I watched the video for My Dad. That's kind of the thought that popped in my head. I'm thinking, after watching the video, obviously, okay, this guy felt the need to do this tribute kind of to his dad. And I would think, we all have a dad, or we had a dad at one time. And I think if I was doing it, that's kind of what I would think. Like, hey, I was thinking in my head, my dad, my hero. And yet he's got the song hero. So it kind of all fits together.
Yeah, that's exactly what my thought process was. And My Dad, I wrote it a couple years ago. You'd be surprised how far it's come since I originally wrote it. It was one of the first ones I did, and the lyrics are exactly what I wrote on my deck at 2 a.m, drinking a few IPAs, just looking in the sky, talking to my dad. And it came out, and I wrote that thing in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me asking, how long, I guess, after your dad passed, did you write the tune? I mean, obviously it wasn't probably right away, but was it a few years?
I know for sure. It was like the spring of 2019.
Okay. And like I said, a lot of us, we've had dads, or
My dad, he died in 16. It was around about 3 years exactly, around April of those 2 years.
Yeah, the older we get, that's the one thing, you start kind of helps realize you're getting older. You start to look around, and more of the people that were once there are no longer there, and you just kind of, I know a lot of times I find myself, just kind of thinking about lost loved ones, and like, oh wow, yeah, I remember when we did this and this. So I take it your dad was your hero, and you have a lot of memories, obviously.
Yeah, here's the weird thing, man. I'll just put it in perspective for you. I grew up in a family of 4. My parents were married almost 60 years before my dad passed. Yeah. My mom is still with me, but my dad is gone, and my sister died 3 years before my dad of ovarian cancer. So
awful. Yeah.
It really puts life in perspective, and one of the things that's made me even stronger in my pursuit to share my message with the world is they both died in the same hospice.
Wow.
My sister, I was with her when she passed away, holding her hand, watched her die. And my dad, I was going to work. I decided to go to the airport. I knew it was near the end. I flew to Florida. I got to his room. We got to talk. I got to, comfort him while he was in a deep sleep, ready to pass. And the doctor said it'd probably be a couple days. But once we were done, I backed away from him because he had told me a few days earlier my sister was in the corner of the room. He was, he was seeing things.
Wow.
Which I really believe. Yeah. And I backed away from him. I said, Dad, I'm so glad we got to spend this time together. It's okay to go now. And he stopped breathing, and that was it. I watched the heartbeat stop in his neck, and he died.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. Not that it's about me, but my grandfather, a number of years ago, he died from cancer, and he was diagnosed like 3 months earlier. We were told he had 3 to 6 months to live, and he died. They had hospice come into the house, and he actually died in the living room of the family home, and we all got to be there with him. And as sad as it is and everything, I almost think, in a way, it was kind of a special way to say goodbye, because we knew he was dying. We all got a chance to say goodbye, rather than getting the dreaded phone call on your loved one's in the hospital and they've passed on. In a way, I felt like, okay, we got to say goodbye.
It was crazy, man. And both of them, I had flown down on both. My sister held on longer. It was through the night and everything, but they thought she was dying as I was going to the hospice. But both of them waited. Both of them had I was the only one in the room with both of them, and it was very surreal, but it brought closure to how tight our family was growing up as a family of 4 unit, back in the day when we still had family dinners and we still had many activities as kids, not sitting around at home, and we were all different in our own way. And they were actually, my dad was a baritone in the church choir, very loyal to that. Every week he sang, he loved to sing, and my sister could have been on The Voice. She was an opera type singer, in Hair, did tour in Europe on that. Was Annie, the Annie shows.
So talent is in your family, man.
They're both gone, and I was the guy you never would have thought of would have been an artist that sang in front of people. But they're with me every day. Before I go on stage, I look in the sky, I go, let's go kick some ass.
How do you feel, Kurt, about your talent as a singer? Because I got to tell you, especially on these 2 tracks, especially on My Dad, I think your vocals really stand out. And maybe it's because you're the type of guy that really, it seems like you, especially a song like My Dad, you're singing from the heart, and it really means something to you. I mean, you may not consider yourself like a virtuoso singer, but I think, the emotion in these songs are coming out.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I am who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stray away what my voice is. Chris Lord-Alge, who discovered me with my demo, he said, you're going to be you. Phil X, you're going to be you now. You're not going to play what everybody tells you to play. You guys are going to now show the world what you do as you. And some people are going to like it.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, but I'm true to myself. I'm true to my art, and I'm true to my voice. And I don't think it would be fair to you or anybody out there for me to come out and try to be somebody I'm not and make it fake. You either dig it or you don't, and I appreciate you giving me the time and listening to it.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed in the video, because in the press release it mentioned that your father passed away, I think it's in 2016, and that he suffered from heart failure, from all kinds of different health issues he had, and a lot of it started because he was a smoker. I noticed in the video that you smoke a cigarette. Now, I was curious, do you smoke? Is that something you picked up from your dad, or was that just done in the video to kind of...
No, I smoke because I enjoy smoking.
Okay.
And I do it more as a hand-to-mouth.
Yeah.
Better, if you will. I don't inhale deeply like some people.
Yeah.
My father quit smoking at 28, so that didn't do anything to his demise. What that did is my father died at 28. I mean, he quit smoking at 28, but he lived to be 79.
Yeah.
What happened is he quit smoking, and he went from a 190-pound man to carrying around 350 pounds a year. And he started having hip failure. He had hip replacements. He was just a heavy man. He ate sweets. He quit smoking and started eating, and his weight is what led to his demise, not smoking. So my grandfather would have lived to probably be in his 80s, but he had a blood clot in his left leg, and he wrapped a bandage around it, never got it taken care of, but he smoked 2 to 3 packs a day his whole life. And, it's all relative. You got to do what makes your body feel good. My body, I'm in rhythm. I drink a smoothie every day. I try not to eat too much, work out, I eat right, and I feel great. I feel better now than I did when I was in my 20s. So I think it's very important that people do and understand their body and what makes it feel good and live in a rhythm and quit worrying and stressing out so much about what the world tells you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen people that, never even smoked a day in their life, but somehow they
lung cancer.
They get lung cancer from, I don't know, secondhand smoke. And then I know another guy been smoking since...
they're getting it from taking prescription drugs, or maybe they're getting it killing their immune system, because that's, everybody tells us we got to take this for rheumatoid arthritis. I don't take any pills. You know?
And I know another guy. He's almost 70 years old, and he's been smoking since he's 13. And look at him. You think he's a picture of health. You know, you just never know, like you said. And again, you mentioned now you just ended the tour with Yngwie. How did that go?
Oh, the tour with Yngwie was awesome, man. It was really. I was on the Shiprock cruise. I performed on the Stowaways, and I get a Facebook message from when I was going under my other artist name before Chris Lord-Alge discovered me, and they offered me to talk to them. And I was on the cruise with my manager, Paul Gargano, and I showed him right before one of my Stowaway sets, and once we got back to land, he called, and it was something to really think about, because Yngwie's totally different than what style we bring. But, the way I looked at it is it's a rock concert. Yngwie is a legend. Yeah. People are going to obviously come out to hear Yngwie. Will they be critical of my style? Maybe they will. Am I going to be afraid of that? No. So you would be shocked, man, after the show, how many people would come up and they would go, I can't believe I came to this show and discovered you. I've got a new favorite band. Yeah, you guys bring a totally different style, and it made for a great night and variety of rock and roll music. So
yeah, I think
every city we played, we built new fans.
I think that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about doing a tour like that. I mean, but you can kind of have a cross section of fans. His fans checking out what you guys do. I mean, I don't know. Were you when you went out with Yngwie, did they have a band called Images of Eden, or I think they may have been the opening band before you guys went out with him?
No, not on this run. They weren't one of the bands. We were always the band right before Yngwie direct support, and there was always a couple before us on most cases. But it was Alpha Venturi and Jess Kills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's this band.
Culprit was out on a few dates too, so it varied.
Yeah, because I was going to say, there's this band, Images of Eden. You should look them up. They were one of the previous opening bands, I think, last year for Yngwie. And I've interviewed the singer and drummer a couple times, and they were telling me that, were starting to already get a following, but once they got on the Yngwie tour, they said they just, their profile went so way up from what they even expected, just from doing that one tour with Yngwie,
Oh, yeah, we felt the same thing. I mean, we were increasing. We even did a meet and greet in Hobart, Indiana, and we probably, you think as an opener, and nobody really knows you yet. This is our second tour. The first one with Jeff Tate from Queen, right? And we had an hour long people just coming through for me and Phil to sign things. So you just got to get out there, and you got to work, and you've got to work hard, because talent is nothing without hard work, and my music is only as good as how many people's ears get on it.
And I think the cool thing, people come to see your show, not only do they get to discover you and the talent that you are, but then your guitar player happens to play in this other little tiny band, Bon Jovi, and people get a chance to see him doing something different,
Oh yeah, it's incredible, man. Bill and I have become very good friends. We met on the set of Have a Cigar. Chris Lord-Alge brought us together, and we're unstoppable, man, and we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. In fact, one tidbit for your listeners, Phil and I are a month apart in age exactly. We would have graduated high school together, and we often say if we would have met earlier in life, it wouldn't be the right time because of our knowledge we have now, and now we know what to do to win in this game of music, which is a very tough road to plow,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you mentioned your manager's name is Paul Gargano. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that name before. I think years ago he used to be the managing editor for Metal Edge magazine.
That is correct, and he kind of came as a bonus along. My manager's Andy Gould, who started Rob Zombie and did all that with Rob Zombie early on, Linkin Parks, just to name a couple of his bigger acts back in the day. But he gave me a chance when nobody had heard me, and when he brought me on, he said, and Paul Gargano is going to co-manage with me, and so I kind of got a bonus manager along with Andy Gould, but that's how all that happened.
Because I don't know if you were a fan yourself of Metal Edge magazine back in the day, but they're one of my favorite magazines. I mean, probably the closest thing we have to that now is like Classic Rock magazine, but that's something from Britain. You got to go to the bookstore, order it online, and it's like cost you almost $20. I guess it is nice quality, but they don't have those great magazines like they used to because we have internet. But I know Metal Edge magazine is online now. Do you know if he's still involved with it, or they got other people?
He is.
Oh, okay.
He's still contributing to Metal Edge.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes and does interviews and stuff like that.
Have you guys got any exposure on there? Or?
Phil X and I have been on his podcast that he does, which I'm not sure if it's affiliated with Metal Edge or not.
Okay. Yeah, but that's cool too.
He's done some interviews with me. But to say for a fact, I know right now if I've been in Metal Edge, I am not sure if any of the content we've created.
Oh, no, I was asking more because I know they've last month or two. It seems like they're online and they kind of got a new presence online. So I think that's cool that they're doing that.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Yeah, he works hard. He's got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm lucky that I have people that believe in me that want to help me grow in my career, and because I'm going to do it with or without whoever wants to be on the train with me.
It's good to hear. Part of what's happening right now is because obviously you got talented people you're working with, like in the band, and Phil X, he's a great guy to write songs with, and all the other people that took part in the album and are working with you. Just to give people an idea though, people are just kind of discovering who Kurt Deimer is, but you know what? I got to put it out there. You got the same publicist as Michael Schenker, Judas Priest, so I don't think, with that being said, I don't think if you didn't have some kind of talent that those type of people would be involved with you,
No, I can tell every time. Even me as an artist. I was listening to some of my older stuff. Chris and I even dived into my demo. Where I've come in the last 3 years, and what you have to do is just keep working very hard. And people that believe in you, we call them believers. Chris Lord-Alge calls them believers. They join the team, and if you don't believe, that's fine. You don't have to. Don't waste our time because we're on a mission.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue. We're going to continue to grow. And my PR guy, who Chip.
Yeah, Chip, he's the one.
He tells me every day, I'm in the trenches with you, brother. He believes. He's a believer. He's setting up interviews all over Europe right now for me. He worked his ass off because he believed in our mission and our message and our music.
Yeah, I tell you from all my...
You got to surround yourself with.
I tell you all the years of working with Chip, as far as, him giving me like great interviews with great artists like you. I know this about Chipster PR. They don't get involved with an artist unless they really believe in them, and they really get behind the artist that they work with, and a lot of the artists they've been promoting for years, So and the thing I'm really interested in, Kurt, and you, is seeing kind of maybe where you are in a year or two from now, is because just listening to these two new singles, Hero and My Dad. I love what you did on that debut album, but this is like real progression in the sense that stuff on the debut album is still great, but you know what? This is like a giant leap forward. I definitely see progression. That's why I can't wait to see what's on Volume 1. I can't wait to see what this cover CDs. I can't wait to see what songs you pick to cover,
Oh, yeah, we got a few more we just picked the other day we're going to be working on, but yeah, the Volume 1, dude, is going to be sick. If you like the EP, wait till you hear Volume 1, and you'll see Phil and I are just fine-tuning everything, and we're coming at you from all different angles. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished so far.
And it's such a matter, such a short time, because I think the EP came out like last November, and you've already done the tour. So right now, as far as the future, Volume 1, I take it, is next. Do you have like a projected release for that, or just kind of by the end of a year?
Yeah, Volume 1, I was, me, of course, I always want to keep going, as quick as possible, and sometimes people need to temper my expectations, but it'll be ready to come out it's coming out this year no matter what.
Yeah.
As early as August, as late as probably right around Thanksgiving in that window, but we still have to map that out. We've got another video still to finish the trilogy of Burn Together and Naive, that actually is the
Yeah.
And that'll become a 3-part video along with the prequel of the song that's coming out on Volume 1. So we might do something with that before, drop another single before. But right now we're pushing Hero all over the radio. On July 4th, it should be many stations across the nation. I think I want to follow up Hero with my dad because I think my dad needs to be heard on the radio.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
and then we get this album done right. We're going to do an album, and I just did a photo shoot and a documentary film with Norman Seif. I don't know if you know who Norman Seif is.
So who's Norman? Who is Norman? Talk a little bit about him so we can know.
That's what I was doing in LA last week, and if you go to Norman Seif's website, you'll see what a legend he is, and we've become friends. I was at his house Sunday, and him and Chris went out to dinner Sunday night, and we've got some great stuff coming from that, and he's designing our album cover, and we're going to do it. I'm working on vinyl this week, and my team is. We're going to do it just like back in the day when I could go to the record store and pick up one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time. Yeah, I mean, I'm an old school guy.
Album distribution, CDs, stream it, and just come out with a bang like the rock bands of back in the day did.
Oh, wow. Well, so much to look for, and such a busy guy. And, like, as we sit here, I think that would be a perfect kind of time to put it out because, we really got only 6 more months to 2022. I mean, hardly seems like it, but right around the corner. I mean, just in time for Christmas. What a great Christmas gift. A new Kurt Deimer debut CD,
Yeah, Chris was saying me and Norman and him are having dinner, and he's like, because I was, thinking August, Norman and I are thinking August, and Chris is like, a Black Friday, the day after thing, the big shopping day of the year, right around that holiday, where we all have these traditions around the holidays. How cool would that be? So it all depends on the next tour because we're just waiting to get on the road right now. That's driving me crazy.
And so, the other thing gotta be driving you crazy, like more and more of this music that gets released, like how tough is it to create a set list,
It's we've got down what we've done the last couple tours. We've added a few, but and we're already working on stuff that'll be on Volume 1. In fact, we opened our Yngwie shows after Hartford with probably what's going to be the first song on the new
album
EP, and it was on our album, and it was our opener called The Dance, and it is a badass tune. So people that went to the Yngwie shows, most of them after the Hartford, they got to hear that. So
I really got to urge you to. I think you really should. My dad should get a bigger release, a bigger push, because I think when I heard that song and seen the video, it really touched my heart, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. It's a great track, and it's great that you honor your dad that way.
I think if everything happens the way I want it to, it's going to happen right after they're done focusing on the Hero campaign, because why not? Those 2 singles came out. That's the order they came out. They should be pushed that way. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was curious, are you a father? You have any kids of your own?
Yeah, man. Jason, I got 3 boys, Cullen, Luke, and Will. They're 27, 26, and Will just got his license the other day, which scares me to death.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
But, they're beautiful boys, all with the same mom, and her and I get along fine, and I think we've raised very, very good kids who I'm very proud of, and they fully support their dad now. We got divorced back in 2010, I just wanted to be who I was, and that wasn't really being allowed up until that point, and but we get along very well, and we're very proud of our boys, and they're very supportive of their dad. I'm sure it freaks them out that their dad went from what I did in the oil business and started my own companies to now I'm in rock and roll, playing on stages, and I'm in movies, and
it's kind of funny to say, but maybe you did it for a reason. Maybe we're all at the right time. I mean, the way things are going now, they're trying to shut down the oil industry. So, I mean, if you hadn't done that, maybe life would be taking a different turn anyways.
Yeah, they got to see, me go from rags to
riches, so to
just,
speak.
I don't want to say riches because I really don't care about the money. I can't take it with me, but I live comfortably. I can do what I want to do, and it shows my sons what hard work can do, and just to be yourself. And I think it's definitely improved them at knowing who their dad really is.
Yeah, and I think that's got to be the message, because even my dad kind of instilled that in me, that anything you want in life, you don't just get for free. You got to work for it. And like you said, the money is not really the real reason you do it. And but what a great place to be in life, to be able to say, you know what I do for a living now, I really enjoy it. But you know what? I have to work at it. I got to keep writing songs.
You got to work. Yeah, that's why I quit doing music when I was 20. I knew I'd fail. I'd probably die from partying too much. I wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't mature. And I suppressed it, and I found my way through life, and I navigated a lot of hardships and made a lot of mistakes. And even now in the music business, I've been taken advantage of. I've been knocked down. I've been told I can't.
And you're proving all the folks wrong. Yeah, I mean,
when I walk out in an arena, Phil X and I, every night before the show with our band, we keep the same, because everybody, you can replace them. No, I don't want to replace my band. I want my fans to see the same group of five come out and jam and be as tight as hell every night and do what we do, because we go out every night with no matter how big the venue that we're playing, Madison Square Garden, and oh, by the way, Phil does play that.
Yeah. I mean, how cool, I think, too, that speaks volumes. Okay, you got a guy like Phil X, like I said, he plays in this other little band, Bon Jovi, where, he doesn't really need to be taking any more gigs, but I mean, I've listened to some of his solo stuff. He's a talented enough, not just a great guitar player, he's a great lead singer in his own right. He can write songs. I mean, I think that's where you guys are the strongest. You're a great songwriting team, and I think...
Yeah, we only write, our writing process is me. I write literal lyrics. I was an English literature major, and I finally get to use it, and I write lyrics. I send them to Chris Lord-Alge and Phil X. So how cool is that?
And then you also had Jeff Tate, a singer from Queensryche, do a song with you. So again, I don't think a guy of that caliber is going to get involved with the project unless he really believes in it.
Yeah, Phil's a believer, and when I heard his guitar solo and Have a Cigar, I got the chills. I didn't even know who it was.
Yeah.
Chris finally told me. He brought us together, and Phil and I rode back in the school together, and we knew we were on to something, and here we are, man, and the three of us, we're the creative team. The band understands that, and they go out and they perform it the way Phil and I want it performed, and we're tight, and that's the way we do it.
And no, I was saying too about Jeff Tate. He appeared on one of the tracks, and I thought he did a great job. But I'm just saying, guys like that would not get involved if they did not believe in your talent.
No, and Jeff's in the music video, and Jeff, I'm sure back in the day in Washington, someone gave his band a chance. Gave Jeff a chance, and Jeff was gracious enough. My management flew him in. We had dinner in L.A. We agreed to do a collab, and I picked Burn together because I thought it would show our two contrasting voices appropriately. And we agreed on a tour together. We did like 45 dates with Jeff last fall. And he agreed to be in our music video for Burn together, which you'll see on YouTube. So.
Okay, we'll definitely check that out, and when the interview posts in the next 2 weeks, we'll post these videos so people can check them out. But before we wrap it up, I think this is a great way to do it, is mentioning the fact that you're a father. I'm sure you learned a lot about being a father through your own dad and how he raised you, and maybe if it wasn't for those experiences, you might not be the dad you are today.
That's one of the reasons why he's my hero. My dad taught me, and it applies to my kids as well as the humanity as a whole. My dad was a big, kind-hearted man. His presence in a room, he was never flustered. He was very comforting. He could have owned funeral homes. He taught me how to treat people with kindness, how to always take the high road, and he worked hard every day for the money that he made in his life. And was he the smartest with it? No, we're all not perfect. But my dad loved me unconditionally, no matter what challenges I put him through, and that's the way I raise my children as well. And I just try to set an example for them so that they could be good fathers long after I'm gone.
And that's what I think makes your song so beautiful. Not only is it a beautiful tribute to your dad, who I didn't even know, but like I can feel in watching the video how close you and him must have been. I can. It makes me think of people I've lost, and thoughts I have about them, it's just and you never. I mean, like you said, everybody's kind of flawed. We all got our strengths and our weaknesses. So I think it's much better to kind of, if you're going to pay tribute and remember someone, I mean, you don't want to lie and say they were flawless, but let's remember them for the happy memories, for the good times in our life, for the things they gave us. I mean, I do think I think it takes a very strong person to say, you know what, I'm not perfect, I'm flawed, but this is who I am, and I'm going to try to go through life being the best I can. As far as you remembering your dad, it's a great thing to remember the good things. Yeah.
I remember the positive. It's very important to have a positive attitude every day. If you want to live with a negative attitude, it's going to start to affect your health. It's going to start to affect your relationships, and it's just unnecessary. There's always going to be negative things that happen to you in life, but I encourage all of you to please think positively. Always look at the next day. Anything that's a no or a negative, there's always a positive right around the corner. You just have to look for it and find it.
And some days are better than others, but I think as long as still among the living, life is good. There's always still hope. Then, and Kurt, I could also talk to you all day, but I'm gonna let you go because I know you're a very busy guy. But let's stay in touch and do this again next time a single or something drops, because we didn't spend the whole interview talking about nothing but music, but you know what, I really enjoyed, because these two songs are so personal. I really urge people to go and check the videos out. Like I said, we're gonna post them on our site with the interview, and I think because these songs are so personal, we got to really at least I feel I really got to know you a lot better, and we got to know a little more about your life. So that's why we do this. So let's keep in touch, and I'd love to talk to you again.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. Without folks like you, Jason, people wouldn't hear my music. I appreciate you working, taking the time to have me on, and I hope everybody goes and find our debut EPs out everywhere you stream, and follow me. And I'm gonna correct you on one thing, Jason.
Sure.
Just at the end here, it's Kurt Deimer.
Deimer, okay, thank you. Well,
yeah, Deimer.
Okay, thank you for that.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube channel. We're about to hit, we're building our subscribership. It's been growing like crazy. Our videos are out, and KurtDeimer.com. I keep it real simple because I'm an actor too. So. Well,
Kurt Deimer, thank you for.
Yep.
Thank you for correcting me. It will not happen again. But
and Jason, I'd like to do this more often with you. You're a great interview, and
anytime. I'll tell you a funny.
I can tell a lot of tales you'll enjoy if you want to keep having me on.
Anytime. In fact, I know you do movies, so anytime you have a movie, anything, music, I'm willing to do it. And Kurt Deimer, here's the thing. I'll tell you a funny story. When I started doing these interviews, many years ago. The way I used to do them is I'd write everything out, and then I started listening back, and it kind of sounded more robotic, and then I got this kind of technique like I do, where it's kind of just talking like to your best friend or something, and it's much better, I feel.
No, I would always encourage that. I mean, even when you see me in Hillbilly Hollow, the movie that's coming out, I take the lines, but then I do what I'm feeling in the scene and what's coming into my brain, and it's just more off the cuff. And even when you see what Norman Seif shot of me, it's all unscripted.
Yeah.
It's more raw. It's more real, and that's what the world needs more, is more real.
And the final thing I'm going to say, Kurt, before we wrap up the interview, is another thing that kind of indicates to me that your trajectory is on the way up. You're only kind of going higher and higher. Is that and maybe it has to do with the people like at Chipster and that, and the people helping you behind the scenes. But like I got an artist. She's a great artist, and she's like on Deco Records, which is a kind of a major label. And she tells me, I'm on Facebook all the time, but hardly getting any hits on Facebook. But I post the stuff on TikTok. Everybody's on TikTok. Everybody's checking me out on TikTok, but I can't get anybody to check me. But you know what? Like all the sites you just mentioned, I see your stuff posted. I see people visiting your sites, and your numbers are pretty good. So the fact that you got those kind of numbers and you're not a major artist, I think you're only on your way up.
Well, thank you very much. And very important to me that my numbers are real, and that everybody everybody interacts and that we're all building a family together. We call it the Kurt Deimer family, and I hope that any of your listeners who hear this come and join us. We're on a mission, and we're going to do this the rest of our lives, and hopefully we can help you in your life, and it'd be an honor to do so.
Okay, Kurt Deimer, well, we got the name right, so let's definitely keep in touch, and I promise we will do it again. We don't really need a reason, but if you want to promote a movie, any of your music, I'm up for that. Or just to have a conversation.
There'll be a lot, and I'm sure that Chip will be calling you, and feel free to reach out to him for me anytime or whatever.
Okay.
I consider you a friend, and I appreciate what you're doing for me.
The feeling is mutual. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll be talking to you soon. Take care, Kurt.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. It was an honor to meet you, man.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Chaotic Riffs Magazine.